Hey guys, the noob MLG here. I never thought I would have the courage to do a video like this with my voice in it, but after two videos, I think I'll have the courage to do it. I saw this video, TF2 vs Overwatch 4 years ago, and at that time I was really pissed because some of the information were completely wrong or lacked information. And I think that today I can do it myself. So let's dig in.
Nerf this.
Kaboom indeed, you drunken wretch!
In 1 minute, you already made a mistake, and the debate hasn't even started yet. When he used Kaboom indeed, you drunken wretch, with a Demoman voice, he got it wrong. If he had searched it in the TF2 wiki, he would have learned that it is a spy voice line, not a Demoman voice line. So he already messed up. I already know that this is going to hell.
Well, it's only polite to respect our elders, so Team Fortress 2, you go first.
Oh wow, so gracious. Hopefully with this abundance of respect you apparently have, you can respect that I'm about to win this debate in one word. Free. Team Fortress 2 is a free game with no hidden fees. The complete version of Overwatch is $60. Boom! Done. Shut it down. It's over.
People who are in favor of TF2 commonly use the argument that TF2 is free, Overwatch is not. But you need to realize that when you're free to play, meaning you only download the game but haven't spent any money on it, you're being restricted, such as in the backpack slots you have. Free to play only have 50. In the trading, you can only trade certain items and you need to pick every item you want to trade in the trading slots, and sometimes you're gonna run out of time. But also, which I didn't knew before today's research, was in the drop system. Free to plays can only get weapons and very rarely paints, while pay to play can also get on top of what free to plays can get, they can get cosmetics as well.
But in the interest of adding on some additional hurt, consider that Overwatch has microtransactions on top of the $60 fee. And people say that Candy Crush is a bad time. At least that game is free to download.
Someone who doesn't play video games would see this argument as valid. Why would I pay more money when I spend money to buy this game? Well, Overwatch only follows the same logic as two of the most well known games in the world, Call of Duty and FIFA, where you spend money to get a better experience. In Call of Duty, you spend more money to get certain weapons, skins, and characters. In FIFA, you either buy new players or get the chance to have even better players. TF2 also has microtransactions, which we call the Manco store. The only difference is almost no one goes to the Manco store unless one time, that is to become a pay to play, because TF2 has his own market, and the TF2 market that the community has made works amazingly. You have certain weapons in the Menko store which cost around 2 to 3 euros, while in the TF2 market, the value of that weapon is only 1 cent. That's why the TF2 market is slightly different. But yes, microtransactions still exist in TF2.
Okay, sure. Overwatch is being sold as a complete game at full price, but that's because it is. Blizzard has said that players will get everything from here on out, including new maps and other updates, all for free.
Oh wow! Updates? Oh, wait a minute. Team Fortress 2 updates multiple times a year with free content on top of the game being free. And it's been doing this for 9 years. The game was released in October of 2007. That is a lot of service for zero money down.
This argument is kind of debatable. Yes, TF2 updates its game every 2 to 3 months to fix certain exploits or to just update his localization files. If you follow TF2, you will know that it's been 1,183 days without a major update, meaning that we have the same game for more than 3 years, which get boring. That's why TF2 has lost many players. I almost gave up on the game because I want to see new stuff. I want to see new weapons, new changes. And when you go more than 3 years, it gets boring. And yeah, it's very sad that it is like this.
Upfront fees, upfront fees. I see you dancing around the subject. TF2 has microtransactions as well.
Yeah, for hats, for new weapons, for general character customization, in TF2, you pay for what you want, and you get what you want when you pay for it. In Overwatch, the microtransactions give you a chance to maybe get what you want. It's all a lottery. Sure, every time you buy a loot box, that's a chance to get that skin that you wanted just so badly. You've been waiting for it since day one, but there's a pretty good chance you're gonna get one of those sprays you've already gotten 3 times before.
TF2 also has a system of crates where there's a possibility of you getting what you want. I remember when Gunmetal came out in 2015, they released skinned weapons and also on top of that, skinned unusual weapons with particle effects on them. People would rush to get those crates, and I remember seeing videos on numerous people having pages of their backpacks filled with SMGs when they only wanted was a good, unusual weapon. That was a really painful time for multiple people. So yeah, it's not only Overwatch that has that. TF2 also has that.
And let's face it, even if you did play the Overwatch loot box game to hopefully get those unique items for your favorite character, the extent to which you can customize them is painfully thin. TF2 has years of hats, weapons, skins, user-generated models. If you want to play as a scout wearing a Dovahkiin helmet, wielding a giant fish as a weapon, you can.
The image doesn't represent the game. The scout cannot run using the Dovahkiin hat. Only the heavy can. This probably is an SFM image or taken off of YouTube video, which was created on Sauce Filmmaker. So, yeah, you cannot use it.
And that is not even anywhere near the craziest combination available in the game. From aesthetic changes to fully customizable loadouts, TF2 allows complete control over your character's play and feel without.
Okay, let's stop everything right here. Who the hell is that? Cause I can guarantee you, I have more than 4,000 hours in this game, and I never saw this person in the game at all. I believe they went and put Demo Man on the Google image search, and that was the first one that came out. And they said, yeah, it looks like him. They had so many ways to get the real image. They could have just typed TF2, go on their main website, but no, they chose this, which is not from Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch. Ah, god damn it, it pissed me off.
Ever tipping into the realm of pay to win. It would appear as though I am on fire.
Oh my gosh, you were right. I shouldn't have let you talk first because you chose to fixate on the one, and I mean one element where Overwatch loses out to TF2, and that is aesthetics. So a tip of the cap to you, Demo Man, for your great variety of virtual overpriced caps. But Overwatch wins where it truly matters, and that is gameplay.
Tell that to the loyal gamers who've been playing TF2 for the past 9 years. The game has stood the test of time.
Stood? Sure, but is now getting replaced. TF2 player numbers have been on the decline since October of 2014, according to Steam Charts data. And numbers since Overwatch's release in May have reached an all-time low for the game.
TF2 was always known for having his ups and downs in player stats because most players come when it's two times of the season, when it's Halloween and when it's Christmas. These are the times where people come to play the game. In December of 2020, TF2 hit his all time peak of players, having more than 146,000 players. And it's still at the number 10 of the most played Steam games. I tried to compare these numbers with Overwatch, but the latest info I have dates from 2018. I tried to ask multiple people if they have been hearing of Overwatch, which they told me no, except one person who heard they're releasing a new map. I tried to ask on Reddit as well, but they don't have any information at all.
So it looks like all those loyal gamers might be jumping ship, and honestly, who can blame them? Overwatch is a true team-based shooter, where teams need to be made of a diverse set of heroes and actually work together to succeed in the game. The end goal is always completing your objective, be it moving a vehicle across the map or defending a certain position. Team Fortress is also objective-based, but features things like kill-death ratios and rewards for dominating the enemy, stats and achievements that are directly tied to killing the opponent repeatedly. This makes it much less appealing to play as, say, a healer or other support character, since they're not as likely to get impressive numbers in those areas. And likewise, it increases the likelihood that offensive players will go rogue, heading out onto the map solo to boost these things up for themselves.
There are 3 points I need to discuss. First of all, they are not the only stats that exist. Other stats exist, such as assists, destructions, captures, defenses, invulnerabilities, headshots, teleports, healing, and backstabs, which are important stats for TF2 players. The most skilled players would mostly see these stats instead of the kill death ratio and dominations and revenges. Second of all, magic search big assists and healing points to show other people that they did their job good. If medics have these numbers really high in the leaderboard and still somewhat lose, they cannot say that it's the medic's fault because he did his job. He's at the top of the leaderboard with the most healing and assists. There is not his fault. On Overwatch, you don't have these things, so you just point fingers at people, and sometimes they're doing the job you weren't doing. And third, the last footage they showed of the demo man was a timestamp footage. That doesn't happen in casual. A demo man doesn't shoot 20 pipes at once. That is not on the casual mode. That is a community map where the stats of the weapons are multiplied by 10. This doesn't represent reality.
The developers of Overwatch have gone on record saying that they actively avoided including stats like that in the game for exactly that reason, to make the team element the focus. In other words, in an ironic twist, Overwatch does Team Fortress better than Team Fortress.
Overwatch has two systems that really tell people that you should kill people. First of all is the kill streak. A kill streak for every character of the game that tells you how much you're going in your kill streak and telling you that you're on fire visually. Second of all, you have the player of the game, which represents your best play, which 98% of the times just show you killing multiple people at once, which shows you that it's good to kill people instead of doing your objective. In TF2, you have an announcer that reminds you multiple times that you are either doing your objective or not. You have the characters' voice lines that tell you if you're doing your objective or not. That's a way to tell you that you need to do your objective, something that Overwatch can. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw a video that told us that the developers didn't have a way to appeal every character in the leaderboard. I'll try to find this video and put it in the description below, but I'm not sure about this information, so I could be wrong.
Whereas you brag about having 100 maps, most of which are from the community, mind you, which is not a bad thing, but Overwatch's characters are just more mobile. They can roll, they can fly, teleport, use grappling hooks. With apologies to Freddie Wong, there's no need for convoluted rocket jumping in Overwatch.
He really wants to go down there, Rod. Okay. Scout has double jump, triple jump, and can use the force of nature to get higher. Soldier has rocket jump, Pyro can flare jump, and has a jetpack. Demoman has sticky jump and tripping, which he uses as shields. Engineer has rocket jump using his sentry rockets and can build teleporters. Medic can jump with other mobile classes using the quick fix, and the spy can go invisible anywhere on the map. The only characters who don't need to be mobile are the heavy, because he's a tank. He doesn't need to get mobile to be effective. And sniper, he's very effective at long range. He doesn't need to get closer to the enemies. And just a quick reminder for your window breaker. TF2 has a game mode called Manpower, which uses grapple hooks. So, not very different from that window breaker, huh?
I wouldn't doubt the strength of the Overwatch community either, my friend. Cosplayers are out in force already. Blizzard is actively policing porn of these characters that's been popping up online. Not that I would know from any sort of personal experience.
First of all, TF2 cosplayers were around way before even Overwatch was a thing. Second of all, just because Overwatch is banning the use of the Rule 34 in some of the Overwatch characters doesn't mean that they're active in the community. It's just that they don't want that stuff online. But the thing is, Rule 34 is used for almost everything in the world. And TF2 also has it. You don't even have to research Rule 34 TF2, just research female TF2 characters, and you will see the tip of the iceberg of the Rule 34 in the TF2 community. You don't need to go deeper, just that little tip you will know that it's fucked up.
Say you don't like a certain map, one of the 12 that there are. If that map comes up in matchmaking, you're stuck playing it. Outside of leaving it or convincing your whole team to try and exit with you, you're gonna have to play it twice in fact. Team Fortress 2, on the other hand, uses a server system on the PC. These servers are hosting specific maps and modes, or rotations of maps and modes, and players can join whichever ones that they want. That way, they can find any set of servers that they really enjoy, stick around for as long as they'd like, and move to a different server whenever they feel like doing something else.
This is slightly different today. What he explained was for community servers. In today's casual mode, you choose which maps and which game modes you really want to play. And at the end of the game, you can choose if you want to stay in the same map or change to a different map where everyone in the server votes for it. But this can be quite difficult for new players who never experienced this kind of method.
On top of that, TF2 just has more modes to pick from. That includes Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and a PvE Horde mode in Man vs. Machine. With this server system, there's just more on offer for a more robust game. With customization, there are tons of different ways to play.
I get it, that's your big argument.
Team Deathmatch doesn't really exist in TF2. The game modes TF2 have are Capture the Flag, Payload, Payload Race, Capture the Hill, Control Points, Arena, Manpower, Pastime, Player Destruction, Robot Destruction, and Special Delivery. There is a game mode called Man vs. Machine, but this is the only game mode where you need to pay your way in by buying a ticket, which is not very expensive. Last time I checked, it was around between 80 and 92 cents.
But here's the thing. Though you can't customize loadouts just yet, Overwatch's emphasis on characters countering other characters means that it's going to stay fun for a whole lot longer. Because the core mechanic of the game is getting good with multiple characters and switching when the situation demands it. Need to stop some turret fire? Well, just call in Winston. Want to get vertical for a while? Call in Pharah. And even within a particular class, there's a lot of variety. Just look at the differences between Mercy and Lucio. Both are healers, but do the job in different ways. If you want hardcore focused healing, then you clearly go with Mercy. If you want less healing output, but you want to get as many people as quickly as possible, well, that's when you hit up Lucio.
TF2 is also a game built on countering characters. The spy counters the sniper and the engineer, but the spy is countered by the pyro, which is countered by the heavy, which is countered by the sniper. It's always a game of characters counting characters, but certain weapons counter the counters, but you can still counter back. And you also have different playstyles according to the weapons you have equipped. For example, if I take example of the medic has four different medic guns. One medic gun gives you invulnerability to any damage for 8 seconds. One medic gun gives you crit for a few seconds. One medic gun heals you alive faster, and one medic gun protects you from three types of damage: explosions, fire, and bullets.
Plus, in a time when gamers are more accepting than ever to play different characters, Overwatch embraces diversity. While the characters in TF2 may be from all across the world, outside of the Demo Man and maybe the Pyro, they're all white males. Overwatch, though, literally has a grandmother who snipes medicine into your body. That is equal opportunity, ladies and gentlemen.
We need to understand that TF2 was created in 2007, when mostly boys played war games. And also, TF2 followed the same logic as Call of Duty, where the main characters are all male. We need to also understand that TF2 happens in countries where mostly white people live in it. Me as a black person don't feel attacked that I only have one, maybe two black characters in the game. I quite enjoy playing as some of the white characters, for example, the soldier or the sniper. They're both white, but I still have fun playing them.
You say TF2 is more balanced, and yet Overwatch's smaller team size per match allows for more strategically constructed teams compared to the massive battles of TF2. With too many players on the field, it just becomes bedlam. But with Overwatch's team sitting at 6v6, it makes each player's character choice matter.
In TF2, you also have smaller team based game modes. We call it TF2 competitive mode, where you can play as 4v4, 6v6, and 11v11. If you see big 6v6 tournaments, the teams are based of two scouts, two soldiers, one demo man, and one medic. But one of the scouts and one of the soldiers can switch up depending on the situation. If you can see the enemy from very far away, you can go sniper. If you need more targeted damage, you can go engineer and build a sentry base. It all depends of what you need, but yes, you can play in smaller teams.
And speaking of skill, the need to master not just one character, but multiple characters in order to be successful in this game means that it has a higher potential skill ceiling for the hardest of hardcore players.
In TF2, you also need to main different characters in order to be successful in the game. Yes, there will be characters that you are not very good with it. For example, in my case, the spy is the character that I least play because first, I don't like to play it, and second of all, I don't know how to play it at a very high skill base. But if my team demands for a spy and I'm the third soldier, yes, I will go spy and do what I have to do. That's the beauty of TF2. You need to know how to play all 9 players in order to be successful.
Closing arguments. Team Fortress 2 may be a team-based shooter, but the individual players on the team have always been of the utmost importance, meaning that they can customize their appearance, they can customize their loadout, they can customize their gameplay. In Overwatch, if you're grouped up with a team who doesn't know what they're doing or who refuse to communicate, you may in fact lose through no fault of your own.
This problem also exists in TF2. If you have teammates that don't know what they're doing or refuse to communicate, you can also lose the game badly.
Overwatch takes power away from the skilled players who in games like TF2 could rightfully carry a match. And that's just not fun. Considering all that in mind, most of all, vote for the original. The art style, the team-based gameplay design, the characters like Torbjorn and Tracer who are very similar to the engineer and the scout.
Multiple Overwatch characters look like TF2 characters. For example, Zarya looks like the Heavy, both are Russian and use a minigun as a weapon. Tracer looks like the Scout, because both of them use speed. Torbjorn looks like the Angie, because both of them use the sentry gun. And also, there is Mai, who is the opposite of the Pyro. Mai uses ice, Pyro uses flames, but both of them use these elements the same way.
And you have yourself a game that's accessible enough for beginners, but sophisticated enough to be competitive on the esports level. Plus, there's no ammo boxes, which to me is always a big perk.
PS2 also has tournaments, maybe not at the esports level, but competitive enough to have money prizes. Second of all, ammo is necessary, so you can distinguish yourself from new players to good players, so you can be precise where you shoot. Imagine if Call of Duty didn't have any ammo whatsoever. People would just shoot everywhere they see and maybe get a kill, and they would think they're good. If you take the image of the soldier, a good soldier always needs to keep one rocket in his rocket launcher so he can get away. That's a good player soldier. That's why we need ammo. Finally, it's the end of their video. I'm gonna try to find my brain cells because I lost way too many. I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird at times. I had to go back to certain voice clips because I'm tired, I'm sick, so I had to go back and change them. I won't promise, but I will try to make more videos in the future. I'm trying to get the hang of this uploading and editing, but I will try my best. Also, if I really know you, type my favorite 2-letter word. If you really know me, you know what it is. And I hope I see you in the next video. Cheers.